Greetings, everyone. It's time for another Top Favorite CDs. And I got one person that I really, really love. Back in 2019, my dad showed me a movie that's called Annie, Get Your Gun. Now, of course, it's based on the real, about a real, a shooter. Like she's basically just like a, going out performing and and being with the real guy, kind of like a carnival, kind of like a circus, kind of, and it was run by Buffalo Bill, Cody, his real name, and she was like a shooter, and of course she competed with, her competition was with a male, so it's kind of a little bit like the battle of the sexes, kind of. But I mean, even before that, way before that, because this was kind of way before the 70s, and then obviously, the 70s, that was sort of the big, the big topic or whatever, kind of a big thing back then, And her competitor was Frank Butler, who was also a shooter as well. And I think they both collaborated together, and it's a really, really great movie. It started off as a musical, of course, with, what's her name? Ethel Merman. And forgot who played Frank Butler in the stage version. But then, of course, 1950, well, they did the movie in 1949. And, of course, Annie Oakley was supposed to originally be played by Judy Garland. And obviously she felt a little restless, and and I think drugs. She started using a lot. She was using drugs a lot, and so they threw her out, and they brought in Betty Hutton to play as Annie. And it's a wonderful movie. It's a great Technicolor movie. I just love all the outdoor, the exterior, just everything about that movie is beautiful. It's like a painting, like a beautiful painting, and it became such a huge blockbuster. I mean, it had many great songs. I mean, even had "There's No Business Like Show Business." They became such an iconic, movie song. And of course, the one actor that I really kind of fell in love with, and I could say this as I'm saying this now, this actor right here, and of course singer, is probably in my top 5 favorite actors. And I'm talking about Howard Keel. Yeah, Howard Keel. He's a great singer. I love him, and he's been in a lot of movies. I think he started off as like a aircraft carrier. And, he went to college over in California, and he was in a lot of great stage musicals like Oklahoma and Carousel. And, of course, his big first movie, was Annie, Get Your Gun. And he was also in, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers and Showboat, Kiss Me, Kate. I do like Kiss Me, Kate, but that one's, that's, it gets a little, and Kismet. I mean, Kismet's, you take it or leave it with those, but then he was also in westerns actually in the 60s, and then he appeared on a lot of different sitcoms and stuff. He was on. He appeared a couple of times on The Love Boat or stuff like that. But he was also in that show that everybody remembers, right? I'm pretty sure in the late 70s and the 80s and 90s, Dallas. He was in Dallas, and he's a really great actor. And I really like the stuff that's actually on this CD here. That's called "And I Love You So." And it's actually kind of not bad. I'm going to have to take out the liner notes to see Now on here, he does actually go back and actually re-record and do medleys of, the stuff that he did, stuff that he, the great movies and stuff, that musicals that he was in, like "Bless Your Beautiful Hide" from Oklahoma, and also stuff from Showboat. I mean, with Katherine Grayson. He also does, Rosemarie. That was kind of another musical. He also does, and at the end, he does the "Annie Get Your Gun" medley. "The Girl That I Married," "Falling in Love" is they say that love is wonderful. Yep, of course that one, "My Defenses Are Down." And of course he also does a lot of regular cover songs in here. Like the David Gates song, "If a picture paints 1,000 words, then why can't I paint you?" And he sings it beautifully too. I know not every, of course everyone's not going to like, if they hear this, they're not going to like it, obviously, And he also does this wonderful poem as well called "What 50 Said," which is actually a Robert Frost poem, which is beautiful. I love that. "You Were Always on My Mind," the Mark James song, he did stuff like "Hooked on a Feeling." He wrote "Hooked on a Feeling," and that funky song on the last Partridge Family album. I forgot the name of that song now. But he wrote a few other songs for them as well. But it's beautiful. I love this, And he's he's a really great singer. I know it's not for everyone, but Now I do in fact also have a couple, actually the same, but I think it's titled differently. This one's just called "With Love for Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow," Howard Keel. And it's got the same picture and stuff, that's him in Dallas, pretty much the same stuff. It's got maybe a few other ones like "Yesterday When I Was Young," and the song "And I Love You So." 1984. Then I also have another one, and these I bought on eBay. But here's another one called "Reminiscing" with Howard Keel. I know these aren't CDs, but I just want to show the vinyl here. And it's got Oklahoma, the medley, obviously, and the song from South Pacific. And it does a couple of Beatles songs, "Yesterday" and "Something." But you should definitely check out Howard Keel. He's great. And, I just bought this just to really kind of listen to it and just kind of smile. It's stuff where, it's stuff like you just listen to and you just want to just smile and just be like, yeah, this is good stuff, But, anyways, I know a lot of people probably won't care, right? For Howard Keel, do you think anyone's going to really like it, really like that kind of stuff? I don't know. If you listen to at least one or, at least several songs, you might probably like it for what it is, and it's kind of, in a way, subjective. But anyways, that's all I got to say about Howard Keel, Great singer, performer, and you can actually watch a lot of his. There's a good chunk of YouTube videos actually of him on stage. A little bit later in his life. I think from the 70s and 80s, where he does the Oklahoma medley, and he does. I think pretty sure he also does. Stuff from Oklahoma. But anyways, great stuff. And sadly, he's no longer, he passed away. It was sometime in the early 2000s he passed away. And he was born in 1919. And I think he was like in his 70s or 80s or something like that. So, yeah. But great guy, great singer, and actor too. I love Howard Keel. Okay, folks, take care. Bye-bye.